back to today's episode of Crabby Morning. I'm Liam with
Dylan.
Kayla.
John
And
Avais.
And
yes. Today we're going to be interviewing Avais about marketing and his area of expertise. So Avais, what got you into marketing?
I've always been a fan of business, and I got into accounting and other aspects of business like management, but I started researching a lot of the people who were successful, like, of course, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Tony Stark. No, just kidding. But it shifted from management over to marketing when I learned about some other folks like Simon Sinek. He's an optimist and a author, and he completely changed modern marketing.
So what skills that you'd say do you need for marketing?
Marketing, what I love about marketing is it's mostly about self-development.
Yeah.
So no matter where you are on the field, even if you're completely introverted or completely extroverted, you can find yourself and improve on yourself and make it so that you have the skill set. You can get those presentation skills. And even if you're not presenting, you can go into digital marketing where you're just editing video, audio, and broadcasting it, whether it's on social media or on a website or another web platform.
Okay.
So what different strategies for marketing would you recommend for someone who's like up and coming in a business?
So I like Simon Sinek's way of marketing, which is broadcasting your why. So he has his book. It's called Start With Why, and you can probably look him up on TED Talk too. He's one of the most viewed TED Talks out there. But essentially what you're doing is you're broadcasting your company's mission rather than its product.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives the example of Apple, where Apple's not really too conscious about their products as much as their vision is. So they're like, we believe in creating the best product. Well, not the best products, but we're creating and challenging the status quo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it works its way down to that's why we do it versus how we do it. We do that by creating innovative products. And then what they do is they sell certain products like the MacBook, the iPhone, other Apple products like their Apple TV and things like that. So people aren't exactly set on what you're doing, but they are set on why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't attracted to what you do. They're attracted to why you're doing it. And if you start with why, which is broadcasting your mission and why you're doing things, then you're going to create more loyalty in the process.
That's actually it's funny you say that, because one of the questions that I kind of had for you was how does marketing give like a certain product or service value? And I guess that's kind of going into what you were talking about, is that like it's giving whatever product Apple is selling value, which is making people more likely to buy those products.
Right. So your mission gives your product value.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can sell an iPod. Anyone can sell any MP3 player. But only Apple can say, we believe in challenging the status quo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I believe in that too. That's why when you see someone with their MacBook, they want to show off their Apple logo. You know, like, hey, I'm part of this mission. I'm part of this brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that brand then grows traction, and more people want to show that brand off.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, because a lot of people are not always, but they're like, oh, look at this new Apple product that's coming out. Oh, it's all wait in line and stuff. There's like a hype around it.
Right. And those people are called the early adopters.
Okay.
The people who are most interested, they're willing to put in the risk or the effort to adapt a new idea or product or new mission, like a company's mission. And then they spread it on to some of the ordinary people that aren't willing to take those risks.
Well, also, some of the ordinary people, they will do a thing which I believe is called free marketing, where they will talk about the product without Apple really having to pay them. They just really like the product, so that more people just happen to know about it because of what people will post about it.
Exactly. So the point of that is, with the early adopters, they're going to um, take that product, and they're gonna, if they fall in love with the product and they fall in love with the company, then they're going to share their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Cool. Avais. I have a question.
Sure.
So I've been watching a lot of how toy brands have grown and stuff like that. So how they would like market it to children.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a lot of psychology that goes into marketing. Yes.
Yes.
Do you have to take psychology courses as part of your marketing course?
You do not, but there are a lot of psychology majors that will end up going into the marketing field because they understand how those things work, where people perceive things differently. And I know there's a lot of influencers on Instagram and TikTok that use their psychology degree to grab someone's attention. Because decisions nowadays, they're made in a split second. Do I want to watch this content? Do I not want to watch this content? And just scroll right by it. So you have to grab someone's attention before you can broadcast your mission or your product or purpose. And if you can't grab their attention, then you've lost from the beginning. Right. So the whole point of having that psychology degree or getting into psychology is to being able to capitalize on those first 2 to 3 seconds.
I guess that kind of goes into the word influencers itself, where it's like you're influencing somebody to do something, I guess, either with a psychology degree or what you know about selling to people.
Right. Some people just have likable personalities and they'll become influencers there. It really just depends.
It's not even for products and services. It could be like, either healthy or unhealthy lifestyles, I feel like, as well. I mean, it could be used for like anything, but that's, I guess, but on the marketing side, it's definitely to help with selling products and such.
I was gonna say, one thing that catches me about when like I see an ad on TV is something like a catchy theme song going in the background, kind of like, it's just like, oh yeah, I like pay more attention to it. Kind of like with the Super Bowl ads, I feel as though they just put a little more effort into like grabbing your attention. They throw all these wacky, crazy ads out. But but other times I'm just like, I don't really care. But there's certain things I pick up that I normally don't pay attention to when ads are playing.
Yeah. It can get stuck in your head too.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a catchphrase or a song in the background, which is why a lot of ads nowadays, they'll have popular music playing in the background. And their goal is to associate that music with their content. So name a recently like famous song. If you can think of it.
I'm thinking of the Grubhub ad.
The Grubhub ad?
Whatever song was from that.
Oh, with like the cartoons dancing and
Yeah,
stuff. Oh,
yeah. I'm thinking about that.
Well, in any case, you'll have that song playing in the background, and the next time that song gets stuck in your head, you can think, oh yeah, I remember watching this that had that song in it. So.
Wow. So what particular so you're doing marketing, so that has like a lot of ways it can be used in the I guess a certain business field. Like you could do advertisements, you can work on buying and selling of the but what are you particularly interested in?
I am interested in both analytics and brand management. So mostly brand management, where you're starting from scratch and you're building a brand, or you're managing an already built brand and broadcasting the company's mission or vision.
Okay. So what was the other one you were saying? Analytics?
Analytics is you're taking a look at data.
Okay.
Like hard data. This is how many references we got, how many views we got on this specific content, how many people shared this content, what made this content successful, and when you find out, when you put those numbers into words and figure out why this content was successful, you can repeat the process with more content in the future.
Oh,
I could see how that works because it could be like, say you have like a bakery shop and certain goods aren't doing as well, so you kind of take them off and just keep making the ones that as are still popular, so that makes more money.
Right.
I guess it's also for like, say, YouTube analytics, where like you can see how many views a certain video will get, and if it's like lower than some of the other ones, then maybe you won't do some of that content anymore because you want to gravitate to what the most people like most of the time.
Sure.
So like you said, with replacing products, I like to circle back to Apple because they're just a really good example. I mean, they're like the first $1 trillion company, so of course
yeah.
they have good marketing. But the iPod Shuffle, nobody's really buying it. There's no point in producing it. Why do we market it? We'll just let it go. They stopped making the iPod Shuffle, and they're focusing more their efforts towards the iPad and the iPhone and other newer devices like that. And like you said, with video content, if something's not successful, like, hey, we did this cool new challenge and people didn't like it, then we'll get away from challenges and stick to our current videos that we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's to test out how the new content feels, if people don't align that content with your current brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use Dell as an example, where Dell makes computers.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you think Dell could make?
No, I mean,
No.
I only
Right.
see their sticker on computers and stuff.
Exactly. So they've completely associated themselves with computers that even if they try to make something else, I know at one point they tried to make a MP3 player,
Mm-hmm.
but it completely failed. It was a good product, but it failed because nobody associates Dell with MP3 players. They
Mhm.
associate Dell with computers.
Hmm.
And Apple sort of gotten away from that by broadcasting their mission first, their vision first. Be like, hey, we believe in challenging the status quo. So when you look at Apple, you look at innovation. You're looking at, they're really putting out new products out there, where they're not associated with one thing. But like Apple, iPhone, no, there's MacBook and things like that too.
So it's one thing for releasing something out of the blue without telling anybody and letting them know ahead of time before you're releasing these products to let them know what the company is thinking.
Right. Sort of like what to expect, like
Okay.
a prequel.
Mm.
So there's like a brand, and whatever you associate with that brand includes all of their everything that they can do. So the whole point of starting with why, like Simon Sinek, the author and optimist, says, is to get to a point where you're not associated with a product, but you're associated with a vision, so that you can be flexible. You can go into any field you need to go into. Like, for example, if Apple were to release a car, I'm sure someone would buy it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
They're not
Oh, yeah.
just associated with an iPhone, but
Mhm.
Apple can sell cars.
Mm.
Dell cannot sell cars.
No.
Mhm.
As a side note, did you know that Colgate, the toothpaste brand, released lasagna in frozen foods?
What?
What?
But they went out of business after a year.
Oh.
Anyways, so sounds like there's a lot of risk.
I would not.
When-
I would not trust food from Colgate.
It's delicious and it probably helps teeth.
Does it
Keep your
taste like
teeth
mint
Interesting
fresh?
thing about toothpaste too. That was actually a really good example with products.
Yeah.
Now, since you can't have a like lasagna product, you can't release lasagna. Colgate can. What they do is they stick in their own field, but they create so many options and so many varieties to the point where you don't know what to get. Like there's this whitening one, right? But then there's this total one that does all of them.
Mhm.
And then there's so many different like types of toothpaste now that they all generally do the same thing. They clean your
Yeah.
teeth, but it's just so much variety where you can't really choose.
So wait, is it kind of like how like Pringles, where they have like different flavors, but it's still a chip in the
It's
end?
still a chip in the end. I'm sure some people like the flavors, but part of that is trying to keep it new when there is nothing new.
Mm.
So they're trying to stay innovative in a format where they're constrained to a single product.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I have a test, psychological test
Okay.
that our Uncle Lee said.
Yeah.
That they put like a table with like 12 different types of jellies and stuff, and then they have a table with like 6 types of jellies, and people were more looking at the one with the 12 jellies, but people bought more from the one with 6 jellies because it was they were able to, it was less stress for them to have to choose out of the 12 than to choose out of the 6.
People will go for simplicity.
Yes.
Keep it simple.
Keep
Yeah.
it simple.
I could be completely wrong about this, but do you know if a business has ever like spread out their products so that it's not all in like the same place, so people don't like kind of get overwhelmed with what they want to choose? Has that ever happened?
You could. I know, like Walmart or another grocery store, like if you go to Wegmans, they'll have like stands up where they'll have say mouthwash in a section where it's not supposed to be, but they'll have like a little kiosk there to show their thing off. One other cool thing about grocery stores is you might have noticed that if you look at eye level, those are the most expensive products. You will find the most expensive, the most marked up products at eye level. So it's good to like look up and down because you'll probably find a similar product for way cheaper.
For sure.
From a different brand.
Yeah.
I'm so tall that I always look at the
Top shelf.
That's why the Great Value brand is always at my eye level.
You're always saving money.
I'm always saving money.
Okay, Kayla, do you have any questions you're curious about?
I'm just learning a lot.
Is
So,
it
like,
is this kind of new information?
It's very new for me, so I'm just kind of like just taking it all in. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. That makes sense. How would that work?
Mm-hmm.
What if a business wanted to start from the ground up? How would they go about marketing tactics?
For sure.
Mm.
I think
So, a friend of mine recently started their clothing company. It's called. Oh, what is it called? Well, I'll get back to that. But anyway, she needed help getting started. So the best way I feel like nowadays to broadcast your message and your brand is through social media. Whether that's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you look it up, every company has a Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get your message out there, through social media, just because it's so big and there's such variety of information and so many people with so many different interests that you're bound to get someone that likes it, and maybe their friends are into the same things, and then they'll spread the message from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with that, because I've been in a lot of small businesses, and usually they'll have like their Instagram and their Facebook and Twitter like kind of lined up at like the checkout area, just so you can go and check out what they do and just check out the different stuff that they provide.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're someone who's really bad at marketing on social media? Like you just can't grasp it.
So that's where you can hire someone to do it for you. There's social media managers, marketing managers, all everywhere. And if you can't afford it, there's so many free courses online on how to build your business, how to build your brand. Where I know HubSpot is a famous course provider, and they have a social media course on how to get your company started on social media.
Okay.
Would you be one of the hirees? The people
Well, the person who I mentioned, her name's Julia. Her company's name is Julie Co. USA, and I did help her get started on her social media. So.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that was like a lot of practice for you in like the actual field to like use some of your classes and stuff.
It was a great experience for me.
That's awesome.
So, have you ever wanted to or tried to start your own business?
Not personally, but like I said, I've helped a couple people start their own business. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when you have like when you do practice that a lot, then you can help build that aspect instead of, because there's the people who start business need like a lot of creativity to like come up with their stuff, and sometimes they don't have the skills like Avais has to sell it to people. So
Yeah.
together it's like a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. I am planning on starting my own business at some point in my life,
Mm.
whenever the opportunity or the idea presents itself.
Okay.
Maybe a social media manager. Maybe.
Social media management, I can do. Marketing consulting is also an option.
That
Yeah.
could be a good option. Yeah.
All right. Looks like we're at 20 minutes. So, Avais, do you have a famous person that you look up to, or a famous quote that inspires you?
Of course, I mentioned Simon Sinek.
Mm.
He has so many quotes, I can't remember all of them. So I would encourage you to look him up and look at his content. I have him on Instagram, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he also has a podcast.
Oh.
It's called A Bit of Optimism. I listen to that whenever he puts out content. But yeah, so Simon Sinek, he completely changed the modern way of thought and in marketing, at least.
Awesome. So thank you, Avais. I think marketing doesn't seem so intimidating now that you've explained it. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I've learned a lot from this instead of just taking a basic econ class in high school. Because we just kind of just dipped into it, but now just interviewing you, I've learned so much more.
Same.
Yeah, I have to agree. Going into it, I had done my prior research to it, but I think it's nice to go really in depth to truly understand what goes into marketing. So it was I agree too. It was very interesting to listen about.
All right, Dylan, why don't you finish us off with our question of the day?
All right. Question of the day is, how can marketing impact how your business grows? And what do you think is the best way to raise awareness of your product or service? Thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe. Have an awesome day today.
You didn't say have a crappy morning.
Have a crabby morning.
Okay.